Let's talk new construction in Harrisburg, North Carolina. So where I'm standing right now, of course, you can see the concrete pipes that would be the infrastructure for water and sewer sitting out here on the land. Where I'm standing actually used to be a really great little brick house, and the house is now gone, even though the builder used it for just a minute for storage. You can see where it used to be because there's the tree that has buttercups that still come up. And I'm at the intersection of Tom Query and Robinson Church Road. This is going to be an Epcon neighborhood. Now, Epcon is known for building nicely finished out properties for the 55 plus market. Now, the way North Carolina works, there's still a percentage of each 55 plus neighborhood that can be purchased if you're not 55 plus. So maybe you're somebody who just wants to hang out with the medium plus crowd. You can still purchase in those communities, but they do have restrictions about the number of kids that could live in there and the age that you have to be, because there's special rules that apply for our 55 plus neighborhoods. Now, what Epcon builds is, like I said, a higher fit and finish. They're going to be maintenance included properties. They're really well done, and they all, of course, have a master down. Some have an upstairs, some don't. Now, with new construction, here's a couple of things to consider. The first one is, when you buy in a neighborhood at this phase, you do get kind of first dibs on lots. I don't say you get total first dibs, because each builder opens up a neighborhood in what we call phases, and they do that to make sure they're operating with economies of scale so that their subcontractors can work in one area before they move into another area. If you open up the whole neighborhood at one stretch, of course, that could be totally untenable with one person here and one way over here. Plus, as a neighbor, it's really nice to buy it and find out that your neighbors right there next to you are going to be completed around the same time, so y'all can start building the community out. Now, those first people who come in, we like to call them muddy boots pricing, and builders like to cut some great deals for the first people in, because they're the ones that have to put up with the roofers at 7 a.m. You're probably going to get nails in your tires, and there's just going to be some unrest until everything's completed. Now, after those first few houses get sold, builders start raising prices because the premium starts to come in as neighbors start to buy into the vision. You'll also find out there can be some good deals from a builder at the very end of a neighborhood, because then you have very little lot selection and they would like to roll up out of there. So that's where you start to think about the time frame of a neighborhood affecting what you pay for a property. Now, Epcon properties right now, as I'm filming this in 2023, in other parts of Charlotte are selling anywhere between $600 and $800 depending on fit and finish. And if you're thinking, Leigh Brown, that's a lot of money, yeah, it is, because they used to sell in the 300s. But the cost of goods is up. As we all know, inflation drives everything up. But also with our supply and demand issues and the new construction side, labor is more expensive. It is harder and harder to find really good skilled craftsmen. So by the way, if you have a kid that wants to find a good career path, look at HVAC, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, roof, and masonry. We could use them. There's also the cost of materials that's gone up, and you look at the price of windows, it's probably gone up more than eggs. We just don't talk about it a whole lot. And so you've got to take that into consideration. This is going to be expensive. And by the way, the numbers I'm quoting could be entirely different by the time it fully comes out of the ground, because we got to talk about something else when we're talking new construction in Harrisburg or anywhere else. And that is, you might drive by here. You've been coming through Cabarrus County looking for a place to build, and you're thinking, but Leigh Brown, it's looked like this for a while. We've been seeing those concrete aqueducts out there, and we saw the little storage thing, saw the backhoe over here just hanging out. What's going on? Well, here's what's going on. The plat was approved by the town. Cabarrus County has some situations with water and sewer capacity because we've grown so much here. I love living here, and apparently everybody wants to live where Leigh Brown lives. I don't blame you at all, but that means we have to think about the capacity of our water and sewer so that we can service all the folks who live here and service our corporate companies that give us the jobs and our retail. We've got a lot of needs for our water and sewer. So you should know that WASAC, which is the Water and Sewer Authority of Cabarrus County, is working on using their data with the Department of Environmental Quality in North Carolina to make sure that we are calculating capacity correctly. And if that sounds like a lot of information, it is. And it's one reason you should have a realtor who's wildly dug into this, because we're going to help you process the information so you can understand the area where you live. Now there's another factor going on here. So the water and sewer we can work on. We also have issues with the DOT. As y'all have watched, as I've made this video, the cars just keep on a-coming, and it's not like it sits there for hours like when you're on 74 going out of Charlotte, but you do have constant traffic because of the growth in the area, and it's primarily residential traffic, but you just have to know about it. And we have an intersection right up there just past where my hand is, and there is a stoplight there. These are of course state maintained roads, and the Department of Transportation wants to make sure that when we add houses, we know we're going to add cars to the roadways. We've got to make sure that we can account for the driveways and the ingress and the egress on these properties. So you're going to have an entrance to the neighborhood on Tom Query. You're going to have another one over here on Robinson Church, but somebody's got to pay for that. And currently there's a negotiation between the builder and the town and the state trying to figure out those pieces. So until that gets figured out, you're not going to see a lot of movement here, which means that if you sign up for the VIP list, you'll get information when it's available. You can also have your realtor sign up for the VIP list so that we can walk you through some of these situations. We're always going to tell you more information than you get anywhere else. And if you wonder why you need a realtor on new construction, first of all, now you know more than everybody who hasn't watched this video. So share it with somebody that you really think should be moving to Harrisburg, or whose parents should be moving to Harrisburg. I frankly have some clients that are waiting on this neighborhood because they want to be right here, and they're willing to wait it out, even though these properties may not be available until late 2024 or into 2025. But the other reason you want a realtor is because if you're buying it directly from the builder, they'll still have to take care of you based on the general statutes. They have to give you the warranty. They have to build it to code. But if you have a realtor, they know that I talk to a lot of people, and I may sell several houses in here. So they're going to make sure my clients are the happiest so that I stay happy. That's a win for the people I represent. Frankly, it's just a win for the area, because I love nothing more than welcoming more people to this great little town of Harrisburg, which is amazing, and it's all the big city things that you need in Charlotte and Concord, but in an area where you can go to the grocery store and still see somebody that you know. So if you have questions about this neighborhood or any other, or just the new construction process, give me a call. We'll put on our regular clothes and come walk around and figure out a plan for you, because my years of experience don't mean anything unless you let me use it to help you make good decisions.